Today, we're going to dive into an economic system that asks a pretty radical question. What if the whole point of an economy wasn't just about profit, but about human flourishing? We are talking about the foundations of Islamic economics. So let's just start with this big question right here. We're all so used to thinking about the economy in terms of, money, growth, profit, and loss. But what if a system was built from the ground up with a completely different finish line in mind? What if the number one goal was just overall human well-being? That one little shift in perspective, well, it changes everything. And that idea, an economy for well-being, that's exactly where we're going to start. We're looking at a philosophy where human flourishing isn't just some nice side effect of a good economy. No, it's the entire reason the economy exists in the first place. So, what does this actually look like in practice? Well, Islamic economics isn't just a list of financial rules, like a do this, don't do that kind of thing. It's really a complete worldview. It's all rooted in foundational Islamic texts, and it creates this ethical blueprint that's meant to guide every single economic choice, from a small purchase you make all the way up to huge national policies. And that ethical blueprint, that leads us to the most crucial difference when you compare it to a lot of conventional systems: its ultimate goal. It's a really radical shift in perspective, moving way beyond just profit. The central goal is this concept called falah. And let me tell you, it is so much more than just being happy or having a lot of money. Falah is this deep, holistic idea of success. It kind of weaves together our spiritual, our social, and our economic well-being, and not just for our life here and now, but with an eye toward the hereafter. Basically, it's about total human flourishing. And when you put them side by side like this, the contrast is just crystal clear. On one side, you've got the engine we're all familiar with, maximizing wealth and profit. On the other side, you have falah. This is that fundamental shift I was talking about, from an economy focused on just accumulating stuff to one that's focused on comprehensive human welfare. Okay, so if falah is the destination, what's the road to get there? Well, it all boils down to mutual support and, believe it or not, a really optimistic view of human differences. Now, think about this for a second. Instead of seeing the fact that people have different talents or different amounts of wealth or different knowledge as some kind of problem that needs to be fixed, this framework sees it as, well, part of an intentional design. The core idea is that no single person has everything they need, which creates this natural, built-in reason for us to cooperate and, depend on each other. And this isn't just some abstract theory. It's got roots in real historical examples. Take the story of the tribe of Ashar. When times got tough and food was scarce, they didn't hoard what little they had. Nope, they pooled everything together and then they split it up equally. That spirit of mutual support is seen as the very engine that makes a healthy economy run. But for cooperation to actually work, there have to be some rules of the road. To make sure that goal of falah is actually met, the entire system operates inside a really clear ethical framework, which is known as Sharia. And its core purpose is to protect the things that are most essential for humans to flourish. These guiding principles are called the maqasid al-Sharia, which basically just means the ultimate objectives of the law. You can kind of think of them as the constitution for the economy, a set of principles you just don't break, all designed to make sure that every economic activity is serving human welfare, not hurting it. Now, these objectives are organized into 3 levels, almost like a pyramid of needs. Right at the foundation, you have the daruriyat, the absolute essentials for life. The next level up is all about removing hardship, making life easier. And at the very top, it's about beautifying life, things that add comfort and refinement. For now, we're going to focus on that foundation, on the essentials, because everything else is built right on top of it. These essentials, the daruriyat, are the absolute non-negotiables. They are the 5 pillars that form the very bedrock of society. In this framework, any economic policy, any business practice, it would be judged first and foremost by a really simple test. Does it protect and promote these essentials, or does it harm them? So what are these 5 essentials? They are the preservation of, first, your faith. Second, human life itself. Third, our intellect, our ability to reason. Fourth, family and our lineage. And finally, our property and wealth. The whole economic system is designed to act like a shield, safeguarding these 5 fundamental human needs. So what can we take away from all this? Exploring a framework that puts well-being and these core protections at its very center It really pushes us to reflect on our own systems. It forces us to ask a really critical question no matter what our background is. If we were to design our economy from scratch today, what would we define as its ultimate goal? What would be our non-negotiables?